Friends, Greg Newmaster coming at you again with another action figure review. Today I have Star Wars, the vintage collection, the best collection in my humble opinion, Jango Fett from Star Wars Attack of the Clones. Many Jango Fett figures have been released over the years. This is just another one in a long line of Fetts, whether it's Boba Fett or Jango Fett. This is the OG. I mean, this is the prototype for Boba Fett, the prototype for all of the clones. It was his DNA that made Boba Fett. It was his DNA that made all the clones, the Bad Batch, Rex, Captain Rex, all the clones that we grew to love over the years. They all came from this single man just trying to make his way across the galaxy, make an honest living as a bounty hunter. So, can't say enough about Jango Fett, the father of Boba Fett in a sense, even though they're clones. But he raised a unaltered clone as his son, which is Boba Fett. So, that being said, let's get into this review. First off, I want to say I don't like the fact that this is a deluxe figure. It doesn't look that deluxe. I mean, they didn't even give him the poncho. So here is one of my older vintage collection. Pretty sure this is from the vintage collection. It could be from the original Black series, but here's the original vintage collection deluxe figure, and he came with the poncho and, some other accessories, the firing missile and so on and so forth. It doesn't fire, but it removes. That being said, it's kind of disappointing that, they put it in this deluxe box. They charge a little bit more money, and they don't really give you much. So that's my small complaint. I mean, obviously, I bought the figure. I'm happy to buy the figure. It's just, you don't have to gouge us, guys. Things are challenging enough with rising inflation costs. That being said, here's the packaging. I am not a fan of these boxes without the windows, especially for Star Wars figures. There's the back of the package. There's the figure. That's what you get. You can't see it, so you don't know if there's damage to it or if it's defective, if there's quality control issues, paint scuffs, and things like that. So that's another big reason I don't like these boxes without the windows. By the way, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Help me to build my channel. So let's, there's the bottom. There's the side. Oh, that's the figure. But it looks like a great image from the movie Attack of the Clones when they're battling in the pit. Really nice posing you can get there. So that's exciting. That's another reason I bought this figure. I was hoping and praying they updated the articulation, and it certainly looks like they did. So I cut the tape on the side. We get these little wax bags where all the accessories are. And I'm going to pull the figure out like so. And it is stuck in there. And there we go. All right, let's see if they improve the head sculpt, the face sculpt. That's another reason I got it. Just the technology is getting better and better. And let's see what he looks like. So, there's my man. Let's get a good look at that head. Oh, look at the nice scarring on the face. Looks very much like Tamara Morrison. Very lifelike. So impressive at this scale. And let's check out the original and compare the two. And see how it looks. Yeah, so the paint job is way better. The head is, more lifelike looking. The nose. The This looks a bit more generic. There's more shading and realism in the face. Hairstyles. I actually think the hairstyle looks a little bit more accurate. The way I recall it in Attack of the Clones than it does here. This looks like a little bit more coiffed. I think that this is the original Rex unmasked head sculpt. I'm pretty sure this is the same hairdo they gave him. As a matter of fact, let me compare that right now and see if it's the same head sculpt. Yeah, that's the same. That's the same head sculpt. Just a repaint of the hair. Doesn't matter though. They are clones, so it's all good. So anyhow, back to Jango. Let's check out the articulation. This is the main reason I got this figure. I love the new articulation. So let's see the number one thing. Yes, we got the T-joints on the hips. Perfect. We don't have the terrible Y joints, which all the Mando figures have. This is great. Nice bend at the knee. Up and down. Ankle joint. And then we got pivot, of course, which is excellent. The sculpt looks great. Look at the treads on the bottom of those shoes there. Hasbro China. Look at that. Wow. That's fantastic. The knee goes just about 90 degrees. Shoulders go all the way up like so. They are cut loose, the shoulder pads. They're not sculpted on. We got a ball joint in the waist, which I love. Very nice articulation. The sculpt of the belt looks really good. A nice metallic silver paint. So that looks fantastic. Head movement. Not too much head movement on mine. I think, yeah, they got the standard double barbell, but in terms of like a double jointed neck, not getting like too much there, but that's okay. These figures are so beautiful, especially for this scale. I honestly love the scale of Star Wars figures so much. Like, I love 6-inch figures too, but when it comes to having figures for vehicles and like giant figures, like for instance, like the level of detail for these figures, I would love to see in a Marvel Legends line. I know they did it in the past, but they weren't this detailed and the sculpts were poor. If Hasbro did this for Marvel Legends and then you got like a standard size Sentinel instead of like a 3-foot tall one that's affordable, I would just really enjoy that and for vehicles and things like that. But yeah, I love this. Beautiful figure. Let's see what he looks like compared to the original in terms of articulation. So I'm going to take off his jetpack. I'm going to take off the poncho. The good news is if you have this figure, you can just swap the poncho and put it on that figure, even though it should have come with one. Just saying, Hasbro, if you're going to market a deluxe figure, it should come with all the goodies, especially if you're upcharging us. Oh, this is interesting. So the belt on the original figure is a little bit more weathered and shaded, where this one is not so much. So I actually kind of like the belt on the original figure better. The original figure's articulation, no joints in the hips, so he can't do a straddle. Just the standard classic up and down movement. No ankle pivot or anything like that. So this figure didn't articulate optimally. And then we don't have, the blades popping out on the original figure. That's not on the new one. That would have been another accessory that you could stick on that it didn't come with. So that's a little bit unfortunate too. Speaking of accessories, let's get on to that so I don't make this video too long. What do we get? So let's see what my man looks like with his helmet on. And oh, the helmet does not. That's strange. Okay, so what is going on here? My helmet does not have a... Okay, so the helmet is... Oh, you gotta... Yeah, it's a swappable head. Okay. Alright, so it is a swappable head versus a removable helmet. I prefer how the original figure had the removable helmet. So they chose not to go in that direction with this one. However, the helmet sculpt is beautiful. The paint job is great. You have a movable viewfinder and scope on his helmet, antenna, whatever you want to call it. So that's nice. So you can choose what you want to do with that. Let's look at his jetpack. It's different than the original jetpack. Here's a standard Boba Fett jetpack, just painted differently with the fireable missile. This one does not have a fireable missile or a removable missile. So that is an interesting choice. Ports on the back there. We have the exhaust ports that have a fire effect, so you can put those on there. I'm really curious now if this jetpack is movie accurate. I need to look it up. I do recall him having a smaller jetpack that does not look like Boba Fett's, but I remember it being more metallic looking. If anybody else knows about that, please say that in the comments. And then we get the fire effect in the gauntlet here. And then you can just port that in like so. And then you get the flamethrower effect. So that's nice. So, I mean, all you're really paying for here is the fire effects, which is a little bit disappointing. Also, we get the weapons holding joints, the vertical hinges versus the horizontal. And the wrists, which I appreciate. The blasters look updated. A little bit different. I kind of like the original design. They're a little bit different, but not too bad. So there's the difference in the pistols. And of course, those port in the holsters there. And overall, I'm very pleased with the figure because of the articulation. I love that. I'm disappointed that they don't have a removable helmet. It's a swappable head instead. I don't know. I just always like it. I understand why they do it because they can get a better sculpt, but something about just being able to remove a helmet and put it on. And they could have done that with this figure. I can fit the old helmet on his head there. So they could have done that. I would have preferred that. But anyhow, great looking figure. Jango Fett, Attack of the Clones, Star Wars The Vintage Collection. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. God bless you all. Peace.